Or taking care of his garden, I guess, technically, but, he's chill. Just calm. Picking bud after bud, and I do mean like a flower bud. Just snip, snip, snip. Yeah. And he has a little glass vessel that he's depositing them all in through this thin spout. Just dook, dook, dook.
I walk up and I stand next to him.
He hears you approaching, going on the path work out to him. Good luck.
I give him a hug.
He stands up and hugs you. Pats you just like your dad does, except a bit lower because he's old. Where have you been? Oh! Hello! Who are your friends?
I introduced them.
You introduce Edelweiss?
Yes, if she's there. She would have to go through the house to get there, but...
It's
probably
enclosed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, never mind. She's waiting up front.
How diligent. A pleasure to meet all of you. He does not shake your guys' hands, unfortunately.
That's fine.
Looks dejected. I'm kidding.
Clean the dirt.
I have a small request, Grandfather. I know it's sudden. I know I have other chores I need to attend to, but my friend Dolly over here is a person who studies, I gesture at the plants growing, alchemy. And I was wondering if it would be alright if she took a sample of our garden.
Oh, of course. Of course. Help yourself. If you need any tools, you see that bench over there. The tools are all hanging off of hooks, and there are some underneath. Whatever you need. Just don't take everything, huh?
Thank you. Her tail's wagging so fast.
Alright.
I think she gets right to work, to be honest. Looking at different plants.
Roll me your herbalism kit.
Okie dokie.
You will have to use intelligence.
Oh boy.
Jen is not proficient in herbalism kits. Wait, hold on. Actually, let me double check to make sure that's.
Yeah.
Hold on. He genuinely might
I wouldn't
be.
be surprised if the
I have fucking herbalism kit. Actually, I forgot about that.
Sick.
Can I help her?
You can either roll your own or give advantage, one or the other.
He'll give advantage. He doesn't entirely know what to look for. He just knows how to handle things better.
Okay,
And just
that's
double
the
checking,
case.
is this an ability check? Or
It is an ability check.
Okay, so it goes to normal then?
Correct. You could add a D4 from his mark, though. I think that's fair, given that this is so literally nature-y.
Hell yeah. Okay, a D4 you said?
On top of guidance.
Yeah.
20.
Hey.
Big
And then
four?
guidance is also a D4? Or...
Yeah, D4.
Nice,
Plus
nice.
7.
Net 20.
And 20.
Fuck!
Advantage.
That is terrible. That is
wait,
terrible.
I'm gonna use my inspiration, I think. If I may.
Sure.
You may.
Okay. And it's another normal roll?
Yep.
Nice.
There you go.
Much better.
So the 3 from
plus
that is the guidance, so we would ignore that 3, so 28. There are so many plants that you don't know I'll call it the scientific names of. Maybe not the names of in general. There are some here, Jin, that you've recognized. You don't get me wrong, you passed through Eulonia on business, but you weren't sprinting through the place like fucking One Punch Man, right? You are but only human, after all. Cue music. So you actually got some general ideas of certain plants. You asked people as you're passing by or read up on them as you're passing through the region. So there's some of these Eulonian native plants that you're familiar with, and you help verse Dahlia on, I'll call it their both their general, like, attributes. Like, oh, this one's really sticky and sappy and stuff like that. This one here grows in this way, but the more valuable part is actually the root of it. It's a little bulb in the ground, etc., etc., etc. So from there, Dahlia, you have some general baseline foundational knowledge of, like, okay, root vegetables in my homeland, and as far as I see in the free realms, are like this. Plants that grow up and high in these vine work are like this. So you get some, you know what to grab at with the herbalism kit. That's step 1. Step 2, or part 2 rather, is you have some general disposition as to where to apply them alchemically. Is that fully accurate? No, but your wisdom alchemy, not in alchemy. So having that initial step in is very, very important.
Mhm.
Since I'm assisting her with this, can I also ask for like one, maybe two things, real quick?
You can ask. I don't promise anything about answering.
Is there lavender here?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I would like to get a little bit of lavender for later, seeing Irina, for Falk to deliver that. I'll give it to you.
Who's Falk? Yeah, you mean Emmerich?
Emmerich. Yeah, sorry, my boy Emmerich.
I'm gonna keep doing this bit until we phase out Falk from our vocabulary.
No.
Yes, we have to.
Is
Carrot,
that
you mean Mavsesian?
Badger? You mean Badger?
You mean
Hold up.
You mean inhuman?
You mean scum of the earth?
Owner?
That's
The
request
second
number 1. What about 2?
Does he see any of the plants? This is a little while back, long while back. Irina, her sanctuary, there were plants, and he did look around and see like the plant life that was there. Did he see anything akin to those?
Oh yeah, those ones are much more decorative though. So you find some. I'm not saying you find the full plumage, so to speak, of the foliage. But you do find a couple of spindly ones that you recognize from Irina's sanctuary.
Will we be able to nick one of those as well? One
Sure.
or two, maybe? Cool. I'll put a small bouquet in my inventory.
I'm not gonna
Bouquet,
change anything.
bouquet from the Hardy Cauldron.
How do I spell bouquet?
Bouquet.
Okay, to be fair, that's a fancy word.
Yeah, it's
No,
French.
yeah, it's French.
Whatever you say, country boy.
If you made it with Ryusen, fuck, this is gonna be stupid. If you made it with Ryusen flowers, would it be a kabuke?
Oh my god.
I hate you. Oh my!
Valid. Yeah, no. I'm sorry for what it's worth.
It's not worth enough.
Yeah, that's 1. 2 more to go, baby. 2 more to go.
Father mentioned you wanted to speak to me, grandfather.
I did. Would you mind helping Elaine in the space? I'm collecting the ingredients to try to whip up, excuse me, a bit of a small batch to cover our bases here at the time being. But as we're addressing symptoms, we have to address the cause. But first, the symptoms. Buy some time before the sickness spreads further out. So he does like a bit of a praying motion. By the light and get worse. So go help your sister out. That's what I want to see about. I would have sent you straight to Elaine, but you know how she is. He does like a bit of like ooh, sort of like she gets a bit locked down, tunnel vision, or sort of thing, like ooh.
Just nods, laughs a little. Yeah, she does that.
Take this, and he gives you the little glass vessel that he was putting the bulbs in. That should get you started. He stands up and stretches his back a bit. You hear a bit of a crack. Ooh. Needed that. Actually, he says, looking at Dahlia, if your friend is alchemically trained, would you mind helping us? She's still free to help us out to the garden, but this is suddenly, what is that? It's a Ventorian expression, and all hands on deck sort of moment.
My alchemy's a lot different than yours, but if you've got instructions, I can follow them.
He looks at you,
don't
Karen.
worry. Elaine loves instructing.
Oh, yes.
Alright. I'll get to work. Do I need to visit the temple later? Or is that handled?
If you don't mind, I was thinking of sending a batch over.
Okay. I'll go help Elaine and I'll come find you.
He nods. He picks up his stool and goes to another collection of plants, humming as he does so. So, do you guys stay here in the garden, or do you guys go over to the workshop, the alchemical apothecary workshop? The lab, I guess, is a better way of calling it.
The lab! Dahlia
go.
goes where she can help.
Off and away to the laboratory.
The laboratory. I also will go to the laboratory. Because Jin doesn't
You
want to know
guys-
what happens if everything starts collapsing. He's not near the group.
You know, that's fair. That's fair.
You'd
Yep.
forgotten
Stay
and
together.
twisted into an NPC in the dream.
You guys follow Caradoc over to the laboratory, where you see his sister, sharing the same angular features as Caradoc, although her hair is a bit more floofy than him, not just by its length, but just by sheer volume. Although perhaps it's that is also because of how frazzled it is in this sort of a bit unkempt way. As she seems rather relentlessly, tirelessly working on.
Focused.
She's very focused. Yes. She's in the middle of, from the looks of it, combining concoctions as you guys enter in. Slowly. Very delicately and slowly.
Hello,
She has a
sister.
little- She's in the middle of using a pipette, and she... it's clear she was about to drop in there, and then you say her name. Caradoc? Then she drops it. Boop. And immediately the concoction begins changing color. Oh, she just lets out a sigh of relief. She puts away the pipe in his original container, the one that she piped from, and sets it down gently and turns around, sees you, and then your friends. She doesn't say anything about the friends piece, but she does look at you. You're late.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, better late than never. And this must be the crew I heard in the tavern.
Yes.
Well, hello. I wish I could have met you all under better circumstances, but alas, we have a bit of a plague in town. Don't worry, it's nothing terrible or lethal, not if we can help it.
But it is very permanent.
Not if we have anything to say about it.
We are ready to help.
Oh? She quirks an eyebrow. Really?
He looks away, yeah.
Oh god, eye contact!
Yes.
Well, she begins like sinking her hand into some. It has the consistency of water, but as she pulls her hands out, they're discolored, so it's not water. Or if it is water, it's really dirty water.
Ew.
Iodine.
It is iodine.
Yeah, disinfected.
She sinks her hands and pulls them out into some sort of drip dry. What skill sets do you all have?
I do alchemy. It's a different kind, but I do it.
A fresh perspective would be helpful.
I am quite familiar with nature and its bounties. I could forage for things if needed.
She looks you up and down. You are rather spry. Perhaps you can help grandfather in the garden.
It'd be a pleasure.
I
Look,
about the rest of you
can cure
fuckers.
someone. I can cure someone of the sickness exactly one time.
Did you actually say that?
Yeah.
She quirks an eyebrow at that. Exactly.
Caradoc does too.
One time. She looks to you, Caradoc.
Unless I watch him do it again.
Oh, that was you.
No, it wasn't.
Jen laughs.
We're not fans of lying in this household.
He shakes his head. I'm not lying. That's a very bad thing to do in the almost in the Empire in Eulonia.
From the Euronia.
She stares at you.
He doesn't. Stare back.
Mhm. She looks to you. She finally pulls her gaze away from you, Emmerich Falk, and looks to you, Caradoc. What can he do?
He's good with a knife, pistol.
Well, that will be certainly handy for when we want to shoot people for being sick. She
This-
says,
this-
rolling her eyes in disgust.
There's a reason I didn't lead with that. Hello.
Hello.
He
Well,
he is trying to make an effort.
if- Well, Falk, you say you have this ability. Why would a demonstration be in order?
Show me someone who's sick.
She walks over and opens up another door that leads to a separate. I'll call it. It's a quarantine. It's just like with a bed space for people that need to be here. And she gestures at one individual who's like in fetal position, but they're like still to the point where you think they're dead.
Oh.
Hmm.
I had to put him out, or else the coffin would have torn his throat out. He's the worst one. If you say you can cure anyone only once, I would pick him first.
Triage.
Right. He looks down at his gloved hands. He glances at hers. I assume you dunked your hands. That stuff you dunked your hands in kills the disease.
It helps. We can dunk yours afterwards.
He gives a nod. It's a cough, right? Respiratory. He kind of pokes at his own ribs, where his lungs would be.
She nods.
Okay. He puts one hand firmly but gently to this man's sternum, and the other hand over it. He whispers in Spharian, Emperor, help this man. And let's see, it's verbal and somatic. So that's the verbal. Somatic is he sort of pulls his hand back a bit, a sort of light coalescing between a very familiar light, I would say, to yours, Caradoc. He did siphon it after all. A light coalesces between the space between his hand and the man's ribs, and then he pushes it back in, almost as if he was doing CPR, right?
It's defibrillating
Yeah, and I will use that and delete
Siphon. He doesn't wake up. He does stir, but he doesn't wake up. As you take a step away, looking at your supposed work, Elaine does walk over and begin holding a hand to his sternum, and then one hand to his neck, and just holds it there for a few moments. Gets a small smile on her face. Then she looks over to you guys and nods once, pulling her hands away. Better.
Good. He looks at you, Caradoc. You can see there's a bit of a maybe uncharacteristic pride to Falk, as he gives you a nod. I learned from the best, I suppose. Oh, stole from the best. Wink.
She looks between the two of you.
Caradoc looks away.
That she blinks a
Betrayed.
couple times and does like a bewildered, like, like sort of like shake of her head, like, Is there something I should know between the two of you?
What?
It just sort of like what stifles a snort, like.
Dolly just snorts.
Right. So, and you, she points at you, Badger. What skills do you have that might help us here?
I'm good at punching things, lifting heavy objects, and you know what? I'll leave the third one out. You don't need to know.
Nothing illegal, I hope.
That's why I'm leaving it out.
I see.
You guys
Well,
are
I'm
really
afraid we
cute
won't be able
dog.
to punch the sickness out of everyone. Much like we can't shoot it out of everyone. She says, "Okay, you folk."
Are you sure about
I
that?
did
Have
not-
you tried?
I did not say
Sister.
that. I did not do. He led with the punching. Sorry.
Sister.
Hmm.
If I may speak on Badger's behalf, he is a strange person, but he has great empathy. I believe that he and Ace are well suited to comforting those who need comfort.
She turns from you, Caradoc, over to look at Badger. A very scouring gaze upon her visage. Is that so? Bark. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Are you quick?
How quick do you need me to be?
Well, there are some people that are house-ridden, stuck in beds. Once we get this initial batch done, I'm sure it would behoove them for us to deliver to them. Not force them to walk all the way out here.
Me and Ace are on it.
Excellent.
Could you imagine being sick and having a dog deliver your medicine? I'd be so happy.
You mean Bolt?
I was about to say, is there a movie like that?
This is the greatest day of my life.
MF and Bolto.
I'm pretty sure that's not the actual dog that ran the
No,
rest
no,
of
it wasn't. No, it wasn't, but it's okay.
It's well known.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
Or those Saint Bernards in the Alps.
Yeah.
Yep, rescue dogs.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not gonna go too deep into it. Roma can just help. Badger
help TM.
help TM.
I think with that proposition, Falk will say, "Well, I can do that little trick, like maybe one more time if if he sees Caradoc do it again, because I've used the spell. I would need to siphon it again. I would need to see Caradoc do it again, but after that, I wouldn't be much help. So
There, when he says that, there is a look of trepidation on Caradoc's face, and he looks at his sister, and he's trying to read her.
Roll insight. At advantage, of course, because it's your sister. What are you insight in particular? What her thoughts on thievery?
Caradoc, no. When he says, "If I see Caradoc do it again,"
Yep.
When this sickness was around, Caradoc didn't know how to do this stuff.
That was the evil sound of a man stirring a pot. And now it's a woman.
I guess. Wait, yeah, you. That might have slipped past me. You guys had mentioned that you got it from Caradoc before you doing it just now, right?
Y-
well, I don't-
Technically, yes.
Yeah, how did you
That's-
phrase it? I guess is a
yeah.
better
How did
way.
Falk phrase it the first time? He.
If you don't remember, you don't remember.
He more directly alluded to it this time.
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
We'll go with that.
we are in consensus. So yeah, you more directly allude to it this time, Emmerich Falk. First and second.
Just say Falk.
little ribbon, just like you did to that guy. Just give him a little ribbon with magic. And you look at her, Caradoc, wonder what her take on it is, and she just looks at him, then to you. Is there some new trick that Brother Casper has taught you?
Oh, he can't lie. No.
Oh,
My bad.
ancestors' heritage peeking through.
Yes.
She smiles brightly at that. Excellent. I hope that it brings a bit more literal light to your life.
Psh.
He opens his mouth to speak, doesn't know what to say, thinks back on what he told Emmerich minutes ago, maybe half an hour ago. Sister, I am.
Hmm?
I am changed.
Her disposition immediately changes. What do you mean? You changed? Are you
Look
sick?
at me. No, but look at me.
She looks you up and down.
I flip the visor down.
It doesn't seem she notices it.
What do you see?
I see my brother. I see my brother asking his sister a peculiar question and giving her great concern. What is happening, Caradoc?
I think it's easier if I show you. Where are the sick?
She gestures deeper into the room.
Come with me. Okay, I'm gonna attempt something that normally doesn't work. But since this is a dream, I'm gonna try to make it work.
Dream fuckery.
Dream, 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 dream.
Shut up, Taylor Lautner.
Close your eyes, shut your mouth.
Taylor Emmerich Lautner folk. Shut up. What do you try to do?
I try to combine lesser restoration with oral vitality.
Ooh.
Those core vitality is third level, right?
Yeah,
Okay. All right, we're not gonna.
I'll hit the descriptions for you here so you have them.
You're gonna have 2 rolls with 2 separate DCs. One roll will be to determine if you can do this at all.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
a lesser restoration.
Dream room, as someone in this call just said. Hold on to that spell slot. We'll come to that in a second. So there's that. Okay. So let's start with a charisma save. Was it a save or was it a check? I think it was a check. Charisma check. Before you do it though,
Mm-hmm.
Eva's not in her super business mode right now because you guys are outside of the Empire, so that's a win. If anything, you did confide in her last night, so no. If that's the case, yeah, I don't think she's gonna have to roll anything. You can take one of her bardicks.
Nice.
And it can be applied to either roll, obviously. So roll me a charisma check. DC 6 turn.
Charisma. Okay. Straight roll, yeah?
Do you have disadvantage normally?
No.
Right, because you don't have any exhaustion. You passed yourself up. Is anyone in a place to give you advantage? Like this is.
It's magical shit.
Yeah, it is some magical shit. Is anyone training Arcana?
I don't think so, but I'll check.
It's a charisma what save?
Check.
Check.
No.
I'm not
Mark check.
trained in Arcana, but
He's wicked smart.
could I assist if I immediately expend the siphoned lesser restoration he's giving me?
Well, that's the thing. If he succeeds, you wouldn't be siphoning a lesser restoration. You'd be siphoning his combined spell. And or
okay.
vitality and lesser.
Well,
so
if that's the case, I can only siphon spells for slots that I can cast.
oh, you know what? 3rd level, do you?
Yeah, no.
Then yeah, sure. I think that's fair.
Ooh.
So if I spend my 2nd level spell slot, my last one,
Yeah.
I can help. Hey, there you go.
I've got
Okay.
nothing.
Well, I checked the NPCs and I don't have Arcana trained. I guess technically Eva Jack of all trades, but that doesn't count. Alright, Caradoc, send it with advantage. Courtesy of your
Courtesy of the
brother-
Emperor.
Yeah, courtesy of the Emperor.
Never forget.
I didn't even need it. How pathetic Emperor. No, I was kidding. No, that's heresy! You also got a D4 on others, but you succeed either way.
The Emperor circumvented Roll20's code and
Just give him a...
put his help his
Uh-huh.
assistant's number
Mhm.
first.
Of course. That's how it works. Totally. All right, now make
Obviously.
me an Arcana check. This one is DC 15.
Let's see if I need that. Bardic.
What's that? Ooh,
Oh,
you,
wow.
you got it by the one from the guidance. About to make
Can
a
I
name
use
for
guidance
myself.
because Aura Vitality is a concentration spell?
Oh, that's a good point.
Bardic.
What do you think?
Wait, you laugh at Cajun accent, huh? You're the president. You should be talking like Tatum Gambit.
I don't want to do that.
No.
Ooh, you're not about to make a name for yourself here.
I'm doing that.
I said you're not about to make a name for yourself. You're not. Damn.
I would rather remain anonymous if that is the fate that I would be given should I have a name.
Ooh.
No.
Anytime I just say ooh, you just imagine the rest of it. So,
Yeah.
19, pretty solid. You begin trying to think of these two different spells, wondering the virtue of both, and wanting so much to be able to combine them, but you know by your aptitude of magic that's at this point in time just not possible. But you recall back to the last place you guys were in, how there's some influence that the mushroom holder, the dreamer, so to speak, had that had the ability to exude upon the dream itself. And you've been leaning into that, just sort of calming your mind, taking a deep breath, and holding out both your hands, almost like you're channeling the spell, one into one arm, one into the other, until you all see two lights begin to emerge, one from each hand. The spells are conjured, almost like you readied a spell, except you did it twice. What does it look like when you combine them?
Quick question. It would be the combined cost of both, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's why the DC was 15 on the Arcana one, because 5,
Yeah.
10 plus 2 plus 3.
What does it look like? That great question.
These two lights in your grasp. The grasp of not only your physical hands, but your divine arcane abilities.
Oh, I have an idea.
Yeah.
The light sort of sinks into his arms, his hands, sort of illuminating what seems to be at first glance his veins, but then you notice these, and almost Lichtenberg, I think it's called, patterns.
Mhm.
And those are the scars left by Irina's blasts that he took. And they travel into him, and where they impacted, they're these almost stigmata-like holes that sort of glow with golden light.
The Retaliator will
And
be proud.
And then it sort of cascades out in this sort of dim, soft, golden mist.
The spells are yours.
And as
You
I'm casting this-
begin healing the people around you.
Yes, I do. And I look straight at my sister, and I tell her, I have grown. I am changed. Look at what I'm wearing. See me.
Hmm. That's a shame. She sees you now in your full, true visage. And there's something about her gaze which you can tell she's making out the armor you're wearing, the magic you're casting, it doesn't daunt her. If it is, she's doing a good job of hiding it. But there's some pained expression to her. And you're not sure why.
As I start, using the, I guess it would work in a bonus action sense where I cure people in
Yeah.
turn. Yeah. So as I go from bed to bed, alleviating the sickness of the people who are ill. With
One
each
by
person, I
one.
kind of look, and
Just-
I touch a person, I look at her, and I say, "I know you see it,
I do.
but then why?" Go to the
She
next
closed her
person.
eyes for a moment.
Here.
I can't deny that I don't know where this stems from, where all this got conjured on you. It looks, she opens her eyes, immaculate, resplendent. I don't deny that, Caradoc. But for all you've grown, I still see you as my brother. My brother who has his own troubles. My brother. My brother who spends so much time and effort helping the troubles of others, unaware of his own. These powers that you've gained aren't helping you in that respect.
What aren't you telling me?